Hey guys, what's going on? Today I want to talk to y'all about business. And you all know that I posted on here plenty of times that I started reading about a year ago, and I reread a book recently. And at the very end of it, it had a section on there called 55 Alibis. And if you know alibis, if you commit a crime and you have an alibi, that means you're covered. You got away with it, or you're excused, I guess. So what this is in this book, for any of you guys that don't read or haven't read, or maybe you have read it and you know where it comes from the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Probably close to 100 years ago, the book was written. Close to, not exactly, but close. But in these alibis, it gives you all the excuses you can come up with to why you don't make it, and to why you're not successful, and to why you are the way you are. So I'm going to read them. I'm going to try to go through them quick. So number one, and like I said, this isn't to call anybody out, but when you hear these, I mean, they resonate to me. So I hope they resonate to you, or somebody like that. But if you have an idea, you have a thought, you have a dream, don't let somebody else crush that dream for you. Okay. So these are the alibis that a lot of people use for when they try or don't try and they're just not successful. So don't become one of these. Okay. So don't use one of these. Listen to these 55 alibis and go, wow, I do use that excuse. I have said that before. And like I said, I'm guilty of this too, so I'm not any better than anybody else. I just wanted to put it out there that they're just alibis or just excuses. And having no excuse, no holds barred type of mentality when it comes to your business or anything you're wanting to get out of life. So number one is, if only I didn't have a wife and family. If only I had enough pull. We've all said that, right? Well, he gets those jobs because his family. He gets those jobs because, he knows somebody. If only I had money. Well, if I had money, I could buy better equipment, and I could get this and I could get that, and I could do. These first three hit me hard. If only I had good education. If only I could get a job. If I had good health. If only I had time. If only times were better. Back in the day, you could do it. 20 years ago, you could do this, but you can't do it now. You heard that before? If only other people understood me. If only conditions around me were different. If only I could live my life over again. Boy, I wish I could have started this 20 years ago. If I'd have started this 20 years ago, imagine where I'd have been now. Well, guess what? I plan on living another 20 years, so I want to start something now and see how it's going to be 20 from now. If only I did not fear what they would say. And, you're going to run into that a lot, whether it's a mama, a dad, a spouse, whatever. You're going to run into that a lot, fear of what other people think. And a lot of times in life, the people that are successful don't have that fear, or if they did, they hit it really well to get to where they want to be, because people can crush your dreams, and a lot of times we tell our dreams to the wrong people. If only I had been given a chance. If only I now had a chance. If only other people didn't have it in for me. If only nothing happened to stop me. I had a boss one time, the one that with the if only other people didn't have it in for me. I had a boss one time, and she really was just out to get me. She just didn't like me for whatever reason. And I never let it get to me. I never let it got to me. I went in and did my job 100%. And I was like, hey, if she's going to be that way towards me, she's going to have to find a real good reason, because I come in every day and do what I'm supposed to do. If only I were younger. If only I could do what I want. If I could just have that job that I would want that I want everything would be perfect, everything would be fine, I'd be so much happier. If only I'd been born rich, if only I could meet the right people, if only I had the talent some people have, if only I dared assert myself, if only I had embraced past opportunities. I've told you guys before, when I was younger, I wanted to do the Carlton Sheets No Money Down, and I bought the thing and, paid like $300 or $400 for it. And it was a bunch of reading, and I wasn't into reading. And I was like, I'm not doing this. So this one right here, past opportunities, I had all that information in front of me. And had I asserted myself then, there's no telling where I could have been now. So all these things, like I said, I'm not preaching to nobody. I'm just, telling you from my own experience. And I want you, when you guys hear this, to let it resonate. They're just all excuses, okay? Everything that is in the past has happened, and you can't change it. So you got to look at what you got to do to move forward to change your life, not looking back. Let's see, where are we at? If only people didn't get on my nerves. If only I didn't have to keep house and look after the children. If only I could save some money. If only the boss appreciated me. If only I had somebody to help me. If only my family understood me. If only I lived in a big city. If only I could just get started. That's a big one. That's a huge one. That is probably the biggest one out of everything, because you don't worry about what people say, what they're going to do. When I told people in my family that I wanted to quit a job that I'd been at for 18 years, where I had 401k and health insurance and benefits and vacation days and a really good clock number and a job that I liked, when I told those people around me, closest to me, I want to quit that to go mow yards, I know they didn't approve of it. I know they thought I was crazy, because it's something that nobody else in my family had ever did. It was just, you go get a job and you keep that job. That's what my dad told me. He said, boy, you don't quit a job. So that's what I thought for a lot of years. I didn't quit a job. So that one resonates to me. Let's see, where are we at? If only I had somebody to help me. If only my family understood me. I think I read that. If only I lived in a big city. If only I could just get started. I didn't read all those. If only I were free. If only I had the personality of some people. That's big. A lot of people have a big, boastful personality, and some people are just kind of hidden back, but you still got to put forth the effort. You still got to do it. If you want that personality that somebody else has, go get it. If only I were not so fat. If only my talents were known. If only I could just get a break. I look at every time I go somewhere, every person I meet, every job I go to, you never know what that opportunity is going to entail. I always like to find out the history of how things started, and Chick-fil-A, they started, there was wasn't even a chicken place when they started out. And just so happened, an airlines had some chicken breasts that were cut to a certain size they couldn't do nothing with, and they sold them pretty cheap. And so Chick-fil-A bought them and started making chicken sandwiches with them, and it blew up. You know what Chick-fil-A is now. So if I could just get a break, you never know when that next job might be the break you need. You never know that next turn around a corner, you may meet the love of your life, but you have to put forth the effort, and you have to do that. You have to go around that corner. You have to be willing to take that chance. If only I could get out of debt. If only I hadn't failed. If only I knew how. If only everybody didn't oppose me. If only I didn't have so many worries. We all have worries. We have bills. We have, families. Not all of us, but a lot of us do. And even if you don't have a family, you still have worries of some sort. And worry is horrible. Worry is just not faithful. And I know that it's hard to not worry about things, but You have to not worry about things and trust God is going to provide, and ask God to provide for you. Ask him what you want and he'll give it to you. If only I could marry the right person. If only people weren't so dumb. If only my family were not so extravagant. If only I were sure of myself. That's self-confidence. A lot of people don't have it. And, if you have self-confidence, I think you're going to be a lot more successful with anything that you try. If only luck were not against me. If only I had not been born under the wrong star. If only it were not true that what is to be will be. If only I did not have to work so hard. If only I hadn't lost my money. If only I lived in a different neighborhood. If only I didn't have a past. If only I had a business of my own. If only other people would listen to me. And this is number 55. It says, if only, and this is the greatest of them all, I had the courage to see myself as I really am. And it says, I would find out what is wrong with me and correct it. Now, out of those 55 alibis, which one relates to you? Which one can you say, yeah, I use that one every day. When things aren't right, I use that one. Stop doing that. I'm guilty of it too. I guess you say preaching to the choir, but I mean the same stuff that resonates for anybody else. I'm not perfect. Same stuff that hits me is going to hit you guys. But I found out that in business, the best thing to do is be faithful in God, that he's going to provide you what you need. And don't worry about anybody else. Don't worry and don't think about the past. Don't think about if this guy has pull. Don't think about if you had money or if you were not in debt. All those things are unnecessary worries that you don't have to have in life. And you can train your brain and your thoughts to not think about that all the time. Just don't think about it. So I read this and I said, I really want to make a video about it. And I hope it touches just, if it just touches one person, I know that why it was meant to be. But these are 55, it should be 55 excuses, because they're basically excuses for when something goes wrong. You can say, well, if only I had money, I could fix this. Well, if only they would have believed in me and I would have pushed through, then it would have been okay. It's excuses. Stop making excuses. Ask God. Don't make excuses, and be faithful in asking and receiving what you get. And be patient. I know that we want things in a time where everything's fast. We want things quick as could be. I used to compare myself when I was like 18, 19-year-old to like 50-year-olds. And I thought, man, I want a nice truck and my house paid for and be able to go on vacation. Well, they've put in 30 years of working to get that. They deserve that. And, I wanted it right then. So, guys, I just wanted to hop on here, talk about the book that I had read. Like I said, that's in Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And just stop making excuses. It's coming for me that I'm telling myself this. So if I just went back and watched this video, I'm talking to myself, because out of those 55, I could tell you right now some that just, hit me dead on, that I got to say, hey, stop doing that. Why are you worried about this? Or why are you thinking about that? So just wanted to hop on here, guys. I'll probably do more videos like this, and we'll catch you next time. See ya.